Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
Welcome back, YouTubers. I am Jason Wersman. That is Gregory, and Hampton is still on ice. You piss off over there. You piss off. All right, we're gonna hit you today. We're gonna get into some 2019 wide receiver outlooks. We're gonna look at like the top 20 to 25 wide receivers from this year and determine where they are gonna be ranked next year, and also including some guys maybe got injured during the season that aren't ranked in the top 25 in the last year, but will probably be next year. All right, if you guys do subscribe, hit us in that comment section below, and we will give you a shout out on our next episode if you go ahead and comment that you have subscribed in the comment section below. And if you are Benito is Finito or Gronky Con, I do have your shirts. You guys got to hit me with your addresses so I can get them shipped out. I know I commented in the leagues a little bit late out there. You probably just haven't been back there to see the comments talking about send me your address. But go ahead and email me that at tankersfantasyfootball@gmail.com, as you see on the bottom of the screen right there. All right, do not forget to hit that like button, and we're going to get right into this thing. I mean, you got to think the number one guy, no holds barred, is DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh yeah, he's just so good out there.
I mean, 0 drops, no reason to get really too involved into that. I think he is number one, but after him, with Antonio Brown probably likely out of Pittsburgh, you start getting into some conversations out there.
Immediately gets dicey right away.
I mean, you're talking about, we're going to look at like Davante Adams versus Tyreek Hill right now. These guys finished within like 1 or 2 PPR points with each other. Davante, week 17, he didn't play, and if he would have played, even with Rodgers getting hurt, he probably would have nudged. He probably maybe even become the number one wide receiver.
He could have.
Over Hopkins out there. But you look at it, Adams had 169 targets, he had 1,386 yards, and 13 touchdowns. I mean, but that's not the crazy part. The crazy fucking part about Davante Adams, you look at his PPR low watermark on the year. We're talking about fucking 16 PPR points was his low watermark on the year. That is doctor consistency.
That's just, really, you're talking about the consistency of Adams or the explosiveness of Tyreek?
Yeah, because you dive into it, you're talking about the game's over 30. 30 PPR points. You're talking about this guy went out there and he basically single-handedly won you your week that week. And you look at it, Davante Adams had 1 game over 30, but Tyreek Hill had 4 games over 30, 3 of which were over 35 PPR points, or over 36 PPR points. I mean, that is just absolutely insane. Hill did have a little fewer targets. We had Adams 169, Hill's got the 137, but he's got the 87 receptions for the 1,479 yards and the 12 touchdowns. So right there, I mean, we're talking about absolute doctor of consistency versus the explosion in the week winner of a Tyreek Hill.
I think you got to go Davante though. He's the only receiver the Packers got. That's
weird.
Anything.
Tankers, we had Davante ranked at fourth in PPR coming into the 2008 season. Got some shade on that in the comments. That's too high. How dare you rank him over some of these guys like Julio? He went out there and fucking proved us, right, baby? Out there fucking showcase. Showdown. I mean, you look at it, in 10 of the 16 games, Davante Adams had over 20 PPR points. I mean, that's insane.
That's solid.
That's ridiculous. That's insane. And he even missed one. So we're talking about 10 of 15 games
put it up
that he went over there and got you over 20 PPR points. Tyreek Hill, he had the 4 games under 10 or 10 PPR and fewer. So that's what we're talking about in the games where he can cost you, because like we said, Davante Adams' low water mark in the season was 16. So that's insane.
Tyreek's got the boom, but he's also got the bust.
Yeah, so he said he's got the 4 games over 30, so he's winning you 25% of the week.
He's also,
But then he's going to probably help you lose in the other 25% when he's dropping 10 and fewer. I think also we have to give the nod here
you got
to Davante Adams. But I'm going to give Tyreek Hill that third ranking, especially in like standard or like half point PPR. I think all in Tyreek Hill on
especially
that
if
third
we're
overall ranking.
talking like a keeper league or like a dynasty league, something like that. Somebody that young, you can't let him go. Sexy Deluxe out there.
Oh yeah, especially with Holmes and him both young, versus clanging and banging. As long as he can stay out of the eyes of the law, which you never know when the fuck that can strike. But I mean, you gotta go Davante Adams, and I think you gotta go Tyreek Hill at 3. We got some other guys that ended up like top 7, Adam Thielen out there, but he was the undisputed number 1 wide receivers through week 8.
That was just it's so crazy how bad he dropped off in the second half of the year.
I mean, you look at it, he had those 8 straight weeks, 100 yards, and you're like, you're all in, oh my fuck, he's on pace for over 1,800 yards. But then, return to the means, these things happen, and this guy kind of fell.
Yeah.
In that second half of the season, because you're looking at weeks 9 through 17 in standard. I know we're going to get into PPR too, but in standard, we're talking about Thielen ranked 29th weeks 9 through 17. You know who that's behind?
That's not good.
It's a pretty gross list. We're talking about fewer points than Larry Fitzgerald week 9 through 17. Fewer points than Robert Foster and Zay Jones. So we're talking about fewer points in standard than not 1, but 2 Buffalo Bills.
That's crazy.
Absolutely gross. Also fewer points than Mohamed Sanu and the upstart Mike Williams out there, kind of came on late.
I mean, just what happened to the man? A lot of it, I mean, some of it's got to do with Kirk Cousins, I feel like, but...
I mean, they fired their OC mid-season, so that's probably not helping out the consistency very much. But you look at it, dial it up in PPR, he's moves up to the 29th ranked, and he's still behind guys like Zay Jones and Mike Williams and Mohamed Sanu out there. It's an absolutely I don't even know, and it's not like this hasn't happened before, because in 2017, weeks 12 through 17, he finished as the 27th ranked PPR wide receiver.
I just don't get it. I just really don't get it.
He just cools off. He's kind of that guy where you want to get him and then sell him high like midway through the season. Pick your moment, pick your shots. I mean, you could have got the fucking King's ransom going into week 9. Probably even still like week 11 and week 12 before he really started to cool off heavy.
Yeah.
You probably still got top 3, top 5 minimum return.
But then if you had him out there during the fantasy playoffs, he just really took shit for
He shit the bed out there. I got him just outside the top 10 for 2019. Not throwing too much shade on him. Got him at 11. Got him behind the likes of T.Y. Hilton at 10.
Yep. I think that's right around.
Chris couldn't give him the nod over a guy like T.Y. Hilton with a proven quarterback who looks back to sexy deluxe prowess and Andrew Luck. So you just can't get too about this guy. Another guy who's just, stud, muffin. We're talking about a guy, if you just banked on him, you threw away those weeks 1 through 4, you said he'll be back, he'll be starting for my team. Julian Edelman.
Julian Edelman was looking good last year.
God damn.
He was looking real good.
And the guy had 1 game in the 12 games that he played under 4 receptions on the year. I mean, we're talking about wide receiver 2, number sexy deluxe. I mean, if you went out there and you're running out Davante Adams or Tyreek Hill and then Julian Edelman as your wide receiver 2, you're playing it in banging.
That's sexy.
And you probably got a discount on Julian Edelman. You probably were able to swoop him up in the 5th or 6th round because of that 4-game suspension on the discount.
I think especially going forward with how Rob Gronkowski's been looking, I think he's got to be up there.
Oh yeah, 7 of 12 games with 6 or more receptions. He finished with the 6 touchdowns, which is kind of like in his area of touchdowns. Never really a big touchdown guy. Under 12.7 PPR points once in the 12 weeks. And only under 16 PPR 3 times. So we're talking about a guy.
Another consistency guy.
But he's still aging. Brady's still aging. So you may still be able to get this guy at a considerable discount for what he's going to be able to do for your team.
I mean, at least until Brady's out of there, you gotta consider him high up there.
Like, if this guy's available in the late third, early fourth round of 12-team PPR drafts next year, I'm fucking all in.
You gotta have to think about it. All in, baby.
All in on the Julian Edelman. Who you got? Some action?
All right, we got the Juju Antonio Brown debate. This is it's getting real dicey.
I don't think there's any way. I mean, Antonio Brown has to admit, he has to suck it up and admit that he fucked up and apologize for this to even consider coming back to Pittsburgh. And I don't even think that's in the game. I don't even think that's in the cards. I think his ego's way too big for him to admit he's wrong.
I don't know though. I really hope the Steelers figure this out. That offense is just so sexy out there.
No way he's better for it. When he leaves Pittsburgh, I don't care who they trade him to. Number one, they're not going to trade him to a team that's clanging and banging in the AFC. That's for fucking sure.
Yeah.
So they're going to try to ship him off to the depths of the sea, of the NFC out there. We're talking about what? The Cardinals? When he says he wants to go play for the Niners, but if I'm the Pittsburgh, I'm not going to do what the fuck you want me to do. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I think the Steelers got to be thinking about this. They got to be thinking who could give them, the best offer, who could be giving them the sexiest picks, sexiest people out there.
I'm telling you, Antonio Brown moves out of Pittsburgh. I think that can somehow, some way, get Juju into the top 5 rankings. I got him at 5, penciled in. That Antonio Brown isn't going to be back.
If you're looking at stats from last year, Juju had 111 catches, Antonio had 104. Juju had 1,426 yards, and Antonio Brown only had 1,297. So more catches and more yards for Juju.
Yeah, Antonio Brown just happened, get those 15 touchdowns, which there's no way a guy, he's not really necessarily the guy of the stature that's a touchdown hawk in the NFL. It's just that Roethlisberger has that much trust in him to get that done. No matter where he goes, there's no fucking way. I'll bet the farm, I'll bet my house, my car, throw it all on. No fucking way he leaves Pittsburgh and scores 15 touchdowns.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way that's happening.
No fucking way.
Absolutely no way.
But I got Juju in at number 5. I'm telling you, Hopkins, Adam, Tyreek Hill, give it to Michael Thomas at 4. But then I got Juju over Julio, OBJ, Antonio Brown, then getting, guys he should be over like Mike Evans and T.Y. Hilton down the list a little bit there. All right. You got anybody else?
Who else we got out here? Odell Beckham. I feel like he's in a really weird spot right now.
Last 2 years, he fucked you over in the playoffs.
Talent-wise, it's all there. It's just
just
the QB situation. Eli Manning can't throw fucking 10 yards down the field.
I think the Giants will draft a quarterback. I think they're drafting at 6 overall, something like that, 6 or 7.
So they're going to be looking for that Haskins or Kyler Murray.
Yeah, they'll probably get Eli's predecessor out there, but I think Eli does have one more year in him. And if Odell Beckham is on the field, I think he's still, like I have him ranked like top 7 out there. I just don't know with his injury fuckery these last couple of years. I'm just afraid to give him the nod over guys like Michael Thomas, Julio Jones, and Juju. I'm just not willing to do that.
That low-end wide receiver one.
Yeah, right, yeah. It's still sexy deluxe, and you're still about it. I'm just not ready and willing to throw that late first, early second round pick on him right now. Maybe get him into that middle second, late second. I might be starting feeling good about it.
Yeah.
Well, we got the Rams wide receiver situation. Robert Woods went out there, absolutely insanity.
Yep.
The guy had 86 catches, 1,219 yards, only the 6 touchdowns. I know it's a little low for how rolling this Rams offense is. But, I think that, but you got to think, on 130 targets, is this Robert Woods' career year?
I think it's got to be.
He's only 26 years old, so he's not like he's, getting long in the tooth whatsoever.
Yeah. That offense is just so, who knows how it's going to shake out next year with Cooper Kupp coming back from injury, hopefully. All those guys are so hard to tell who's going to do better than who.
I mean, he finished 11th in PPR in weeks 1 through 16, which is, the fantasy football season for most of us that don't fucking play stupid week 17 horse feathers. He only had one single-digit game the entire time.
That's pretty good.
That's insane.
Definitely a guy who exceeded.
And that was week 1. So we're talking about 15 straight weeks of double-digit production. Sorry, it took me a while to read through my notes there. But that was through week 1.
Yeah, that's...
Single digits week 1. Forget about it. Double-digit PPR the rest of the way.
I mean, I don't know what else you can ask from a guy other than 15 weeks of double digits.
Yeah, 8 of his games over 16 PPR. He only had 3 games over 20, so he's not really that your league guy, but where you drafted him in like the 8th, 9th round, he's wide receiver 2, sexy deluxe. He's on a shit ton of winning rosters. He was on the Fishbones team, who was in my dynasty league. He got over with some Robert Woods in the flex, feeling great about it out there. I mean,
definitely.
The guy's only 26 years old. You think? I mean, you're talking about, Brandon Cooks is going to get drafted over him.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's there, he's a great flex, fantastic flex, low end wide receiver too. I mean, he's looking good next year.
But I might be packing it up, waiting to see maybe get me the last Ram wide receiver drafted next year. I think that's going to be Cooper Kupp, and I'm thinking Cooper Kupp can stay healthy. I mean, Cooper Kupp was in a beast. He was wide receiver 1. He was back in wide receiver 1 while he was living and dying out there. If he can stay healthy, his report with Goff, I think if he's the one going the latest of the 3 in these mock drafts coming up, later on this year,
you're looking good.
I think I'm packing up I'm putting all my chips down on the Cooper Kupp out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if these assholes are going 3rd, 4th round and Kupp's going like the 6th, all in.
Yeah, definitely. That's just pure value right there.
I mean, he can outscore them, and he's coming at that discounted price. So if that is, I mean, I would do Robert Woods over Cooks. If Cooks is getting taken like a half round or a round over Woods, I would still be all in on the Robert Woods because I think his consistency is better.
Yeah.
Because Cooks, you look at Cooks, 80 for 1,205. That's like Cooks' numbers like every year.
Yeah, right. He seems to stay right around the same spot.
On 117 targets, but you look at it, and those 5 touchdowns I talked about, 2 of them came in week 17 when it mattered to none of us.
Yeah, that's not good.
Feeling bad about that. 4 games under 10, 5 over 20, 8 over 16, so still the same amount of over 16 as Robert Woods. They were neck and neck the whole season. But, I mean, I think the consistency for Woods is there.
Definitely.
But in standard, I'd probably go Cooks.
Yeah, just
Fuck it.
more yards. He's
More
a more
yards.
big play guy.
Moving on, we get some. What about the Amari Cooper versus T.Y. Hilton conversation?
There's a lot of guys right around in that area that are just so dicey.
It's so big bubble, It's like, who do I have? Who do I have ranked here? I got T.Y., then I got Thielen, then I got Keenan Allen, and then I got Amari Cooper coming in at 14 or 13. Amari Cooper at 13, T.Y. at 10. Because, I mean, Amari Cooper did get sexy deluxe twice. I mean, he kind of did what he always did in Oakland, Just that his lows weren't quite as low.
Yeah.
Well, his lows were like 10, 12 PPR, when his lows in Oakland were like 2.
Oh, yeah. He had good thing he got out of Oakland. Oakland's just a dumpster.
Yeah, I mean, when Amari Cooper came over to Dallas in Week 9, he was the 9th ranked wide receiver in PPR for the rest of the season. T.Y. was the 10th, but T.Y. was also playing with some soft tissue and ankle injuries out there, so that's hampering him a little bit.
I've always been a big fan of Keenan Allen as well. He's never seemed to been able to stay out there.
He's finished strong.
But he's always.
He only had like one touchdown through the first like 7 weeks, and that was in week 1. But he came on strong toward the end.
Oh yeah, he's getting it sexy out there.
Yeah, I mean, think of that. You gotta give the nod to Ty.
Yeah.
Just to finish up and just to mop that situation. Oh right, we got anybody else?
I think we missed Mike Evans right above that group we just talked about.
Oh yeah, Mike Evans at 9.
Mike, just especially with Bruce Arians coming into town next year, you know Jameis likes to sling that rock. Nobody gets down the field more than Mike Evans.
It's crazy. You look at a guy who's 6'5", pretty big guy. You don't think he'd lead the league in like average depth of target or average depth of reception, but he does.
Yeah,
It's insane. I mean, his run after the catch it went up severely this last year. I mean, with the Bruce Arians situation, as long as his targets continue to be there, and Bruce Arians is the type of guy that filters his targets towards the wide receivers more so of the tight ends. That's why I'm a little worried about O.J. Howard moving into 2019, even though I think his talent can't overcome it. But Mike Evans, all in, solidified top 10 wide receiver going into 2019.
We're talking 86 catches, but 1,542 yards. That's
Just beasting.
sexy deluxe out there.
Just going out there and he was always in that guy that was flirting right around that 1,000, 1,100 yards. He actually went out there, lost his mind in the yards category this season. I mean, I'm all in on it. I mean, I got Mike Evans right below Antonio Brown, but depending on location, I could easily bump Evans right over Antonio Brown and make him number 8.
Oh yeah.
No reason. Well, we got a couple more battles of the Tylers.
The Tyler Lockett Boyd action.
Lockett Boyd, let's make it a triple threat. Throw in some Calvin Ridley action out there.
I think if we're just talking situation-wise, Boyd, I don't really trust Andy Dalton that much anymore. At least with Lockett, you got the Russell Wilson.
But it's you look at Lockett, and it's like what he did is like completely unsustainable unless those targets go up by like 30 or 40. He had 71 targets on the year. That's insanity. For a guy who finished top 20 in PPR, only having 71 targets is like completely unsustainable in my eyes. He got 57 of those for like 906 yards. And here's the kicker: 10 touchdowns, Tyler Lockett.
That's
and
madness.
no 2-touchdown games. So we're talking about 10 games with a touchdown.
That's madness.
I mean, that's getting it done. He only had one game over 20 PPR points, though. So he's just kind of that get you a touchdown, get you that 17 kind of guy,
Yeah.
I mean, just the targets just aren't there. He only had more than 6 targets one time.
That's not good.
That's scaring the shit out of me.
Yeah, that's not what you're looking for.
I mean, that's just something like you just can't. Like, touchdowns are like the hardest thing to predict on a year-to-year basis. And, I mean, he ain't getting more than 70 targets.
Then he's no way he's getting that 10 touchdowns again.
It's insanity. No way. Like, yeah, those targets need to get to like 100 to 110 before you can even think about putting up top 20 wide receiver numbers again. I mean, you got to think. I mean, Boyd, you look at it, 76 for just over 1,000, 7 touchdowns. He only played 14 games, had the 108 targets, 6 games over 20 points. You know, like I said, Lockett had 1 game over 20. Boyd had the 6, but he had a lot. He had some letdown games though. He had 5 games where he scored under 10 PPR points. So over a third of his games that he played, because he only played 14.
I think
he was shit in the bed for you.
I think Boyd really benefits out there when AJ Green is on the field. When AJ Green's off the field, he just gets that best corner, and I don't think he can handle as much. He can't get as much separation.
Yeah, with the tight end situation just dying a terrible death in Cincinnati. I mean, Boyd in the slot, A.J. Green split out wide. I mean, they're just filtering targets. Andy Dalton is not shy. I mean, you look at Tyler Boyd, I mean, some of these, I mean, some of these things, he had 9 of his 14 games. We said that Tyler Lockett only had over 6 targets one time. Boyd had 9 of his 14 games where he had more than 6 targets.
Yeah,
He's getting them.
he's getting them.
There was like a stretch there where he had double-digit targets like 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
He was loving you sexy. He was a waiver wire gem. I mean, people were drafting Tyler Lockett in like 9th, 10th, 11th round or some of that, maybe a little bit earlier. But Tyler Boyd was on the waiver wire going into week 2 after that breakout performance against the Ravens on Thursday Night Football, I do believe.
Scooped him up in that cheeseburger
He
walrus.
did, baby. He helped us get some money.
That's right.
He helped us get a title. So I'm going to give him the nod. I'm going to give him the nod over Lockett, and I'm going to give him the nod over Calvin Ridley. I mean, Calvin Ridley, when another guy went out there, got you 10 touchdowns.
That seems so crazy because Julio just doesn't get it done in the touchdowns, and Ridley seems to really be stepping it up out there.
He had 9 games. Calvin Ridley had 9 of his 16 games in single-digit PPR. The other 7 games where he didn't, guess what he did? Scored a touchdown.
That's the secret right
That's
there.
a problem. I mean, people are like, well, you know, but no, that's a problem.
Yeah.
9, the games where you don't score touchdowns, you're single digits PPR, like,
Yeah, just especially with all the running back. I mean, he could just get kind of game scripted out of the game if he's not catching touchdowns.
they got Mohamed Sanu on the cheap for at least a couple more years. Austin Hooper, bitch ass, because Zach Ertz bowed out, somehow is a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
That's insane.
I didn't know that was the thing, but that's
That's the thing. As of like yesterday, that's the thing. Austin Hooper is a Pro Bowler. So he's dealing with Mohamed Sanu, he's dealing with Pro Bowl and Hoopster, and he's dealing with the man beast Julio Jones, who just devours yardage.
Oh yeah, that
Just
yards
devours it.
after catch is just so sexy.
Absolutely insane. All right. We have anybody else to run down real quick before we run down our final like top 25 rankings here to close the video?
I don't
I think
think
we're having
so.
a great video. I think this is a great video.
I think we covered everybody. I
I think this
we-
is feeling it, baby. If you're
Yeah.
feeling it too, don't be shy. Crank that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that bell for all notifications, tell your friends, and give us a share, baby. All right, we're going to get right into those rankings. As I said, we got Hopkins at 1, we got Adams at 2,
Yep.
give it to Tyreek at 3, Michael Thomas at 4, we got Juju at 5, giving him the nod. He's
Giving him
young
the
as
nod.
fuck, giving him the nod. Antonio Brown is out of town. I mean, Juju's targets goes up. We're talking about a guy whose targets might go up, who's coming off a 111 catch season.
He's so young too. They got a great situation.
And he's got big play potential, just like Tyreek. He'll rip off a 90-yarder,
Oh,
no
yeah.
problem.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No problem. I mean, Michael Thomas is more of that possession guy.
Yeah.
We got him at 4. He's vacuuming up the targets out there in PPR. He's sexy deluxe. We got Julio coming in at 6. We got Odell Beckham Jr. at 7. Antonio Brown at 8. Mike Evans and T.Y. to round out the top 10. You got any thoughts toward that? I think that's solid.
I think that's a great list. I mean, obviously, just with Antonio, you never know what that whole as
But
the
I can't knock
offseason-
him out of the top 10. Just
He's
because
gotta be.
he's incredible.
As the offseason progresses, we'll find out where he goes, what's going on with that whole situation.
Yeah, I mean, he could be sent off to the, Quad City Steamwheelers, and it'd be hard for me to knock him out of the top 10.
I mean, it's Antonio Brown.
It'd be impossible. It's really hard.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Adam Thielen at 11. We got Keenan Allen at 12. Amari Cooper, Diggs, and A.J. Green to round out the top 15.
AJ Green,
He's an illusion. The last couple of years, he's fucked you.
I used to have a lot of faith in AJ Green, but he just can't stay healthy out there.
We only had like one game in single digits in the games he did play. I mean, when he was out there grinding, he was getting it done.
He just can't stay out there.
That's the problem. I think he's just too fragile, man. You look at him and he's like really spindly or something. He doesn't have any meat on those bones whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't know what
His legs and forearms look like my sister's. It's ridiculous. We got Kenny Galladay at 16. I think Kenny Galladay took a step forward in the right direction. The target share is definitely there and not going away. So I think Kenny Galladay,
Getting it sexy.
all in 16. He couldn't even move up a couple of spots. I mean, I could even bump him up if things go the right way. I'm not afraid to bump him above Amari Cooper at that 13 spot. He could move up 3 spots. We got Julian Edelman, Old Dirty Trusty at 17.
He's out there.
I'm giving the nod. We got the Rams clan 3-pack right after Julian Edelman.
There. All right there.
But I'm gonna give it to Cup, and I'm gonna give it to Woods, and I'm gonna give it to Cooks. Going what we got, 18, 19, and 20 to round out the top 20 with the Rams.
Yep.
Tyler Boyd, Ridley, Landry, Lockett, and then we got a mixed bag at 25 because I couldn't necessarily make a cut.
Yeah, there's a lot of solid receivers out
We got
there.
some old guard, and we got some young upstarts that could possibly make this cut. We got Alshon Jeffrey, who kind of souring on. And then we got upstart guys who turning it on, getting it second. We got Chris Godwin, Mike Williams, and maybe even the likes of Corey Davis, even though I kind of hate him.
Even though I kind of... He's got some talent out there.
I think Chris Godwin is wide receiver. I think he's top 20 prospect next year.
Oh, yeah.
Unless if Deshaun does come back, which Bruce Arians says he's going to try to talk me to come back, if that happens, then I might have to bump him, Chris Godwin, a little bit below Mike. I love Mike Williams. I fucking love him. Another guy who scored 10 touchdowns on very limited targets, but
Finding that end zone.
man, he's a beast. He had like 600 yards and 10 touchdowns. Like that's like Cameron Brate numbers.
Fucking Cameron.
Cameron Brate would have like 400 yards and 10 touchdowns. All right, people. You like the cut of our jib? Give us a subscribe. Give us a share. Pound the piss out of that like button. We appreciate it. Every little bit helps, baby. Thank you. Hit that cheeseburger jam.
That cheeseburger walrus, baby.
Cheeseburger. Hit it. Cheeseburger. Angry this.